I mean this in the nicest way possible, but it's okay to whore yourself out. This is I Mean This in the Nicest Way Possible, and I'm your host, Ram. You may be chuckling at me saying whore yourself out, but it's true. No one who ever made it big did so by sitting on their couch and waiting for the universe to tap them on the shoulder. And if they did make it big from the couch, honey, they were still whoring themselves out on the internet through emails, DMs, posts, stories, newsletters, whatever. They put themselves out there. They made themselves visible. They made themselves known. And that's what today's episode is really about. Owning your visibility instead of hiding behind your comfort zone. Because in today's increasingly disconnected world, it's so easy to retreat, to stay to yourself, to sit in your little bubble pretending it's peace when actually it's isolation wearing a cozy robe. But let me tell you the truth in plain language. That's not helping you. Not socially, not creatively, not financially, not spiritually. To be perfectly honest, I fucking hate networking. It is one of my least favorite professional activities on the planet. I am not a small talk girly. I hate the "so what do you do?" question. Because half the time, people ask it to socially size you up, not out of real curiosity. And you know the exact kind of event I'm talking about, right? That random young professionals mixer, where the lighting is too bright, the wine is too warm, and you're holding a plastic cup, avoiding the snacks because they look like they sat out way too long, desperately clutching your phone for emotional support. You're trying to balance all of it while also remembering your 30-second elevator pitch, your name, your LinkedIn title, your hopes, your dreams. And God forbid somebody asks, "So where do you see yourself in 5 years?" And now you're contemplating reincarnation. Meanwhile, there's always that one person who is thriving. They're working the room like it's a runway, laughing too loud, collecting business cards like Pokemon. And you're just in the corner like, I was promised light networking, not a personality Olympics. So yeah, if that's what comes to mind when you hear the word networking, of course you hate it. Of course I hate it. But that's not the only way to do this. And that's what I want to unravel today. And listen, this isn't something I've mastered. It's something I'm actively working on in real time, which is exactly why I wanted to talk about it with you. Because I've seen the headlines. I've seen the reports about how disconnected we've all become. How people avoid networking, avoid calls, avoid in-person conversation, avoid being perceived at all. And I've played into that cultural epidemic myself in little ways. So I want to do better. And since I'm not suffering alone, I'm dragging you along for the ride. Because why should I be the only one learning uncomfortable lessons on this early Wednesday morning? Exactly. Today we're going to break down the importance of networking, not just for your career, but also for your friendships, your creativity, your emotional health, and your sense of belonging. We're going to get into why community matters. We're going to talk about the unexpected ways connection has changed my own life. And yes, we're going to talk about how networking has led to real blessings, breakthroughs, and bonds, including one of my closest friendships today. Someone once said, "Ask and you shall receive." But I say, pour yourself out and you shall overachieve. Let's get into it. I want to delve into the psychology behind why putting yourself out there actually works. Because it's not just manifestation. It's not just being bold. There is literal behavioral science behind this. The research backs it up. Psychologists have known this forever. People trust what they see more often. It's called the mere exposure effect. The more familiar you seem, the safer and more likable people perceive you to be. This is why brands run ads constantly, why creators post daily, why some influencers go viral not because they're the best, but because they're consistently present. You're not annoying, you're building familiarity. As a Path Forward article by Tammy Foreman pointed out, what you know often comes from who you know. And the more people know you, or think they do, the more opportunities appear. A range of experts, including writers at Forbes and Path Forward, echo the same truth, one that Adam Grant has talked about for years. Every relationship, increases what's possible for you. Not because you're using people, but because human beings are bridges to ideas, clarity, to mentors, to jobs, to rooms you don't even know exist yet. Dr. Samantha Stein, writing for Psychology Today, said it perfectly. Community gives us belonging, identity, support, and lower stress. Low stress leads to better decisions, which leads to more confidence, which creates more momentum. Networking isn't begging, it's fuel. This is one of my favorite principles. You don't get confident, then take action. You take action, then get confident. A lot of experts warn against the same thing, waiting to feel ready. You don't wait, you do. And your nervous system catches up later. When the Forte Foundation interviewed executive coach Sheila McNamara, she said the best networkers share one trait. They're warm, curious, and willing to go first. Not perfect, not fearless, just willing. And that willingness compounds. This theme came up across multiple sources: Forbes, Idealist, Appress Group, and The Science Marketer. Invisible people don't get chosen. Visible people get opportunities. Even Forbes journalist Adam Bryant admitted as an introvert, working on something with someone builds deeper relationships than any coffee meeting ever could. That's visibility in action, relational visibility. Let's start with the most legendary networking story of all time, courtesy of Business Insider's reporting by Ali Wiseman. Before Kesha was a multi-platinum artist, she was a nobody with a demo and an insane amount of nerve. According to her interview on The Tonight Show, Kesha literally drove to Prince's house in her dead grandpa's car, bribed the gardener with $5 to look the other way, crawled under his gate, stepped inside because the front door was unlocked, walking in like she was meant to be there, took an elevator playing Prince's own music, stumbled into Prince himself rehearsing on guitar, held up her demo like she was selling Girl Scout cookies, dropped it on the table, and ran out before security could tackle her. And she admitted verbatim that she almost pooped her pants. That is whoring yourself out energy. Not sexually, strategically, boldly, delusionally, and in a way that every hustler, creative, or entrepreneur secretly understands. Did Prince ever call her? No, I don't think I would either. But did it shape the level of shameless courage she would later weaponize to become Kesha? Absolutely. The lesson here is simple. Psychology backs this up. Closed mouths don't get fed. But as Kesha proved, closed gates also don't stop destiny. Kesha didn't wait to be invited. She invited herself. And she's proof that sometimes your success begins with that one unhinged risk everyone else is too scared to try. But please don't try what Kesha did. I love her, but breaking and entering isn't cute. Now let's talk about Issa Rae, who basically embodies the healthy, grounded version of hustling. From Lindsay Peoples' interview in The Cut, Issa makes one thing painfully clear. She didn't break in. She built a side door with her friends on the internet. Before Insecure, before HBO, before Red Carpets, Issa was making web series with classmates, borrowing smaller cameras when her equipment got stolen, editing her own footage, gathering her people, building community from scratch, and putting it online so the audience could find her directly. She tried entering contests, she tried the traditional Hollywood route, and she hit the same gatekeeping wall everyone hits. It's who you know. So Issa Rae said, okay, then I'll know people. And not the ones above me, the ones next to me. She created dorm diaries in college. She created Awkward Black Girl with friends. She created Color Creative so other creatives of color could get access. She chose community over clout, peers over power, and lateral networking over begging executives. Issa Rae didn't wait for permission. She gathered her network sideways until the industry had to look up. This is exactly what Forbes and Path Forward echoed. The biggest opportunities come from the people sitting next to you, not the people sitting above you. Issa made consistent, small, collaborative moves until they became a tidal wave. That's the art of whoring yourself out, the strategic kind. Show up, build sideways, be regular and brilliant at the same time. Now let me bring this down to earth for a second. Because for all the psychology and strategies we can talk about, sometimes networking looks like accidentally meeting your soulmate friend in Arizona. So picture this. I'm on a work trip in hot, miserable Arizona. And across the room, I see this girl and I'm thinking, wow, she looks kind of stuck up. Which, listen, some people just have a resting bitch face. It's a condition. It happens. We didn't talk much at first, but we did sit at the same dinner table later that night. It was pleasant, fine, pretty neutral coworker vibes. But the next day, I ran into her in the hotel lobby, and she tells me she's about to go eat by herself on her birthday in Arizona. Absolutely not. So I invited myself along, and that tiny moment, that one little risk, turned into an entire friendship that has shaped the last 8 years of my life. After lunch, we ended up at the mall. We checked out some ridiculous Instagram playground. We explored a sushi spot for dinner. And by the end of the day, I realized she wasn't stuck up at all. She was one of the sweetest, funniest, realest people I had ever met. Don't judge a book by its cover. And today, we talk every day. We've lived through whole eras together. She is one of the closest people in my world. And all of that happened because I asked one question. That's networking. Not the sleazy kind, not the handing out business cards like your life depends on it kind. Just human connection, gradual networking, real networking. An Oppressed Group article describes this perfectly. The best networking usually happens over time, not in those forced transactional moments. That's literally how this friendship started. A slow, natural human connection that grew into something life-changing. And it really made me think about how different life looks when you actually say yes to connection. When you step back and look at the research, from psychologists to career experts to leadership coaches, they all describe the same fallout when we pull away from community. Isolation. Not the peaceful kind. The kind that slowly erodes your confidence, your identity, and your sense of belonging. Dr. Samantha Stein, writing for Psychology Today, explains that community is one of the most powerful buffers we have against stress and loneliness. When you don't have people around you, you don't just feel disconnected. Your emotional resilience actually weakens. Because most jobs, creative collaborations, and right place, right time moments come through people, not postings. Less talented people outrun you. Not because they're better, because they're visible. And visibility, showing up, staying in the mix, gives people a chance to think of you, trust you, and remember you when something opens. Here's what I love. Even though all these experts come from different fields, psychology, career development, leadership coaching, they're basically repeating the same truth in different languages. Networking isn't about schmoozing. It's not pretending. It's not collecting business cards like you're trying to win a prize. It's connection. It's community. It's being known enough for people to see where you fit. A Forbes writer broke it down simply. Success is a mix of what you know and who you know. Not in a manipulative way, but in the very normal way humans operate. People remember who's in their orbit. Path Forward offered a perspective that really landed for me. Networking doesn't have to be asking for favors. Sometimes it's just asking questions, being curious, showing up with openness instead of pressure. And the science marketer framed it beautifully. You don't need to be an extrovert to do this well. You just need to connect in a way that feels authentic to you. Meanwhile, Psychology Today goes deeper, reminding us that community literally shapes identity, lowers stress, and strengthens our mental health. Belonging helps us weather life better. Being supported helps us move through the world with more courage. So if your brain associates networking with something salesy or sleazy, every expert I looked at is saying the opposite. It's about being seen, being supported, having people who get you, so your life doesn't feel like one long solo mission. And the truth is, the consequences of not networking aren't just professional. They're emotional. They're personal. Sometimes they're spiritual. Dr. Stein explains that isolation doesn't just feel bad. It chips away at your resilience and your sense of self. And that's when things start shifting quietly in ways you don't notice right away. You start shrinking without realizing it. When you avoid people long enough, you start shrinking your world. Your ambitions shrink, your confidence shrinks, your imagination shrinks. You talk yourself out of things you could do because you don't have people around you reminding you of who you are. You become your own echo chamber, and that echo gets quieter every year. The Path Forward article said something wild and painfully true. Most jobs never get posted. They just get circulated, quietly, privately, between people in actual rooms. So when you isolate, you're not just missing out on opportunities. You're missing out on the opportunity to even know there was an opportunity. You can't apply to be in rooms you don't even know exist. This is the bitter truth Forbes kept circling around. Less talented people will outrun you if they're visible. Not because they're better, because they're present, because they said hi, because they asked a question, because they followed up, because they were brave enough to show their face even when they didn't feel ready. Talent is not enough. Hard work is not enough. Visibility is the missing ingredient. Now this one hurts because it's seductive. You'll tell yourself things like, I prefer being alone. I don't need anyone. People drain me. No one gets me. I'm fine. But the research says the opposite. Humans need community to regulate emotion, build identity, and make meaning of their experiences. Isolation may feel easier, and connection is harder. But connection is where the growth and the good shit lives. Networking isn't just about getting opportunities. It's about broadening your sense of what's possible. New people introduce new ideas. New conversations spark new creativity. New perspectives shift your direction in ways you can never predict. When you lock yourself away, you don't just limit your career, you limit your evolution. And listen, I've lived that. I've had seasons where I didn't want to reach out, didn't want to talk, didn't want to collaborate, didn't want to be perceived. And those were the seasons where my world felt the smallest. That's why this episode matters. Not because networking is cute or trendy, but because connection literally expands your life. Now let me shift into what's actually working for me, because I'm not sitting here pretending I have this all mastered. This is one of those episodes where I'm learning right alongside you. But I have been doing a few things that are really moving the needle, slowly, quietly, but consistently. And I want to lay those out because this stuff is real. First thing, I've been practicing what I preach, even when it feels awkward as hell. I've started doing what I call intentional networking, which is really just a fancy way of saying I'm reaching out to people I admire, even when it makes me cringe. Sometimes that means sending a DM. Sometimes that means sending an email. Sometimes it means responding on Instagram when normally I just scroll and keep it pushing. But every single time I've done it, something good has come from it. Not always right away, but eventually. And the thing that keeps blowing my mind is how often people respond. Because here's the truth. Most people are out here starving for genuine connection. So when you approach them with clarity, kindness, and confidence, even if your voice shakes a little, it lands. Even people I never expected have responded. And not just once. Second thing that's working, I'm learning to show value first. Now listen, I'm not talking about people pleasing. I'm talking about generosity. When I meet someone or reconnect with someone, I ask myself, what can I offer here? What can I share? What can I uplift? Because the moment you stop thinking, what can I get out of this? And instead think, what can I give? Everything shifts. That's how I've been approaching Ram Collective. That's how I've been approaching this podcast. That's how I'm approaching the next chapter of my career. I'm leading with value. I'm showing up with intention. And I'm making it easy for people to see what I bring to the table. Third thing, I'm moving my brand forward visibly. I've been putting myself out there more, letting people see what I'm building, fostering community in creative spaces, mentioning my music, and not hiding the fact that I have big goals and am actively working towards them. And here's the wild part. Every time I've hoarded myself out in a strategic, aligned way, something has happened. Let me give you 2 quick receipts. Receipt number 1, Eugene's Pride Festival. People assume I just got invited to perform. No. I asked. I literally messaged the organizers and said, hey, I'm a local artist, here's my work, I'd love to perform. And they said yes. And then they kept saying yes for many years after. I performed because I asked. Receipt number 2, singing the national anthem at Eugene Emeralds games. Same thing. I asked. No one plucked me out of the crowd. I reached out, I put myself forward, and that opportunity turned into one of my favorite traditions I've ever done as a performer. Those things didn't happen because someone discovered me. They happened because I wasn't afraid to knock on the door. Well, that's a lie. I was afraid. But I knocked anyway, and that's what worked. 4th thing, following the alignment, not just the strategy. This is where the spiritual side kicks in. I pay attention to my intuition. I pay attention to astrology. I pay attention to those little nudges that say, reach out now, reply to that message, touch base with that person again, try it, just try. And without fail, when I follow those nudges instead of my fear, I end up connecting with the right person at the right time in the right way. And last thing, and this is the big one, I'm being honest with myself that networking is a skill. Not a personality, not a talent, a skill. Which means I can learn it. You can learn it. All of us can. And the more I practice, the less it feels like networking, and the more it feels like building a beautiful life with people instead of around them. Before we get into this week's challenge, I want you to do something with me really quick, and don't overthink it. Just notice the first name that pops into your head when I say this. There is someone you've been meaning to reach out to. It might be a friend you haven't spoken to in a while, a creator or business owner you secretly admire, someone you'd love to collaborate with, somebody who helped you once and you've never properly followed up with them. Whoever it is, don't judge it, don't edit it, don't swap them out for someone who feels more impressive. Just hold that person in your mind for a second. That's the person this next part is for. For this week's challenge, I want to give you the same exact one I'm giving myself. Welcome to the Shameless Ask Rule. Once a week, just once, you make one bold ask. That's it. One DM, one reach out, one email, one introduction, one tiny opportunity grab that nudges you a little outside your comfort zone and a lot closer to the life you want. Not performative, not desperate, not cringe. Respectfully shameless, because you believe in yourself enough to reach out. So here's your challenge and mine. This week, put the rule into practice. Reach out to someone whose work you admire. Follow up with someone who you've been meaning to reconnect with. Compliment somebody with intention. Pitch an idea. Start a conversation. Say hi first. It doesn't have to be a big move, but it does have to be a real one. And listen, I'm doing this right alongside you. I'm participating in the Shameless Ask Rule too. And I'll give you an update in the next episode or on social media about how my own ask went. So I want to hear from you. Tell me who you reached out to. Tell me what you asked for. Tell me what you tried. Because the moment you do it, you're networking the human way, not the cringe way. So let me leave you with this. Networking isn't about selling your soul. It's not about becoming something you're not. It's not about pretending to be the loudest person in the room. It's about showing your worth. It's about being visible. It's about letting the world see what you actually bring to the table. Because hiding doesn't make you humble. It just makes you invisible. And if you take nothing else from this episode, take this. You deserve to be seen. You deserve to be chosen. You deserve to be connected to people who lift you, challenge you, and help you get where you're going. That's why we're starting the Shameless Ask Rule together. One bold move a week. One tiny reach out that could shift your entire life trajectory. I always think about it like this. Somewhere in the future, there is a version of you who is so grateful you sent that one message. The version of you who has the job, the business, the creative community, the friend group, the partner. The opportunities that feel random from the outside, but you and I know they were built on tiny, brave moments. And that future you, they're not thinking about how awkward you sounded in that first DM. They don't care how your voice shook on that call. They're just thankful you were willing to look a little cringe for 5 minutes so your life could expand for the next 5 years. Because your next opportunity, your next breakthrough, is almost always tied to a person. So don't be afraid to show up for yourself, and don't be afraid to ask. Because sometimes the kindest thing you can do is be real. I'm Ram, and thanks for getting real with me today. You just finished listening to I Mean This in the Nicest Way Possible, written and produced by Richard Armand Mills.